Hello folks, and welcome to another edition of BC Renovation Magazine. Today we're going to talk about polybutylene or poly B plumbing pipes. Poly B plumbing pipes are used in supply lines for hot and cold supply lines in homes. It's not in use any longer. It's not recognized by most codes in most areas. This home is a 1992, and in that era, 1992 was about the end of the final days of polybutylene or poly B pipe. Poly B pipe was introduced sometime, I think, in the 70s is when they first started to use it, and so it's basically a plastic pipe. And it comes in your various sizes: 1/2 inch, 3/4. Here you can see where we've got a little bit of 3/4. That's the main line coming in there, and then we've got a 1/2 inch line going over to that hose bib that goes outside there. And so this is where the hot water tank's at here. So these are your main lines. So they're 3/4 inch. So there were basically 3 generations of poly B, and there's been a lot of problems with poly B piping over the years with it breaking, and there's been some big lawsuits over it all. It is a lot of insurance companies won't cover you if you have poly B in your home. It's become kind of a bone of contention. So basically, the poly B that's in this home is a 3rd generation, and so by the time the 3rd generation got around, they had advanced the chemistry of the composition of the piping so that it wasn't so susceptible to chlorine and heat as much as the first generations. Also, on some of the early generations, the connections, like right here, these joints here were plastic, and there was a very high failure rate in those plastic fittings. You had to be very careful on how you crimped them. Here we have these crimp rings, and the crimp rings are copper. And with a plastic fitting, if you didn't have your machine calibrated, your crimper calibrated, you could cause a crack in there, and eventually that thing could let go on you, and you'd have a problem. So, of the poly B type of system, this home has got it's the best of that technology. And when we do a renovation, we have a look at the piping. This particular home, we live in a climate where it gets hot, but all of our piping is down below in cool places. If you live in an area like Florida, someplace like that, what they commonly did there was put their plumbing up in the attic. And so you run the plumbing up in the attic, and you get like really extreme temperatures from the sun shining down in those, states like Arizona and California, and those southern states. That also contributed to the failure. So up here in Canada, we don't have that really hot weather like some of you folks down in the States there. So, and again, our stuff is all run down below. Nobody puts it in the attic. So as far as the heat thing goes, it's not really affected. And here we don't have a lot of water treatment. It's just a small amount of chlorine, and that's about all it gets. But and when we do a home like this, what we do is we take a look at the piping. So we've looked at this piping, and this piping is showing no sign of deterioration. Usually it'll deteriorate from the inside out. You look around the joints, and if you're having problems with the joints starting to leak, you'll see you'll see corrosion, and it'll look like a green fuzz that you see here. And you can see here we have none of that. And Sometimes that corrosion can be caused by just sweating, but if you see that on your pipes, it's just, it's a good sign that it's time to get rid of it. But so what we do is anything above the floor we replace, and we change it out to PEX. So this is all going to get changed here. None of this will be here when we're done. And so here we took the hot water tank out. So here you can see where we did a temporary transition from the Poly B to the PEX, and they have a fitting that makes that transition, and then from there you go on to the PEX. So in this particular home, I think what we'll be doing is down below we'll be making these connections so that everything up above in the home itself will be all PEX, and then there will be still some Poly B, but it will be down in that crawl space, where if it does spring a leak, it's not going to do much damage. It's going to be, it's down the crawl space, so not a lot of worries there if it leaks. If you have a leak inside of a home where you've got new floors, that's you don't want that. New cabinets, so everything inside here is going to be new PEX. So that's just a quick look at that. Further on down the road here, when we get back inside, we'll be taking that all out and showing you kind of how we do that. It's an easy process. So here you can see we've got the Poly B coming up through the floor. So, and it's terminated there temporarily with the section of PEX, just so we can have water in the home while we're under construction here. But there won't be any of this up above the floor here. It'll be all down inside. We'll replace it. And here's a little look down into the belly of the home. So this is underneath. This was a bathtub here. We're going to be putting a shower basin here, but it gives you an idea of what's underneath. So there's a floor joist there, and then down there inside there's insulation, and then there's a space there that is heated to keep the pipes warm so that they don't freeze in the wintertime. And then underneath that insulation is the belly liner, which is a very heavy woven poly material. Same thing here. Again, we've got the toilet stubbed up, so this has just been temporarily capped off here, and all of that Poly B is going to disappear. It'll all be down underneath in the crawl space. So the crawl space underneath this home is a dirt floor, and so if we get a leak, it just kind of runs out on the ground down there. So that's Poly B, and a little bit of information about the 3 generations and the different kind of fittings. If you have plastic fittings, definitely you want to get rid of it. Just pull it all out. But if you have these metal fittings, these are copper, and depending on where it is and what your situation is, you may or may not want to get rid of it completely. But in this case, I think we'll probably be just leaving it in the crawl space. So thanks for watching, folks, and if you like this video, give us a thumbs up and share it with someone. And if you want to follow us on this project as we go through the single wide mobile home and completely renovate it, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell, and we'll keep you updated as we post new videos. Bye for now.